Samsung might push out the first One UI 8 beta as soon as June. Even while Samsung has remained relatively quiet on what's next for the One UI, some early evidence implies that things could be moving quicker than normal behind the scenes. Word on the street is we might see the beta version of the One UI 8 drop as early as June this year, which would be a nice head start compared to the last deployment. This scoop comes from Tarun Vats on X. According to the leaker, Samsung could be mixing things up this year, with a testing plan for the One UI 8 that veers off from how the firm handled things with the One UI 7. Hey Galaxy fam! Hearing from sources that Samsung could unveil the One UI 8 beta as early as June, but as usual, take it with a grain of salt. Samsung has earned a great reputation for being on point with software upgrades, seldom missing a beat. But the One UI 7 rollout threw consumers off a little, since it came in slower than planned. Still, looking at its history, it seems more like a random blip than a hint of a wider change in how Samsung conducts things. Now that Android 15 is finally available on Galaxy smartphones, all eyes are inevitably moving to the One UI 8. Samsung possibly beginning started as early as next month would be a rather speedy turnaround. Still, VATS encourages individuals not to become too committed onto that date just yet. Samsung's schedules tend to fluctuate depending on how things shape out during development, so it's all still a little up in the air. If the June beta launch truly occurs, VATS believes there's a high possibility the stable One UI 8, powered by Android 16, may arrive as early as August or September. That'd be a far tighter deployment than what we saw with One UI 7. It's also worth noting out that the One UI 7 was a rather huge jump for Samsung, filled with big upgrades. The One UI 8, on the other hand, is likely to be focused on cleaning things up rather than providing a lot of showy new features. Leaked facts from internal testing on the Galaxy Z Flip 6 and Galaxy S25 Ultra suggest to a release window around July or August 2025. This date aligns up with the projected introduction of Samsung's next-gen foldables. The One UI 8 has been under development for numerous Galaxy devices for a time now, and we have had the pleasure of checking out early One UI 8 firmware over the previous several weeks. While the One UI 8 is scheduled to launch considerably quicker than the One UI 7, Samsung is still improving it, and in the newest firmware update, there are numerous noteworthy tweaks. Let's start with Samsung DeX, the function that enables you to utilize your Galaxy phone or tablet in a desktop-like environment. On the One UI 8, Samsung has made various improvements to the DeX user interface. With Android 16, Google is providing a DeX-like desktop mode to all Android devices, and Samsung has opted to borrow several features of the UI from Google's desktop mode. Regular DeX users will notice the change as soon as they open it up. The desktop now features a centered taskbar similar to Windows and also centers all program icons. Furthermore, the taskbar now contains certain permanent app shortcuts. On One UI 7, the taskbar only displays icons for programs that you have launched. The app drawer has changed as well, with the One UI 8 presenting all installed applications in a smaller pop-up window instead than filling up the full screen. However, except from these improvements, DeX still appears like it did on prior versions of the One UI. The One UI 8 also adds the additional fast panel controls available for the Galaxy Buds 3 and Buds 3 Pro to earlier Galaxy Buds. Long tapping the volume slider in the quick panel brings up a pop-up menu that allows you to control the level and alter settings like ambient sound and noise cancellation. Controls for things like 360 audio and equalization are lacking at this moment, although that's likely a consequence of this not being the final software. Samsung has also polished and enhanced certain basic UI aspects in the current One UI 8 software, notably the glass-like backdrop blur in pop-up menus. Sadly, we still don't see any big new features. Samsung is primarily only updating existing features at this time, but we're hopeful the firm has some tricks up its sleeve that it will show later on, potentially after launching the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Flip 7, which will come pre-installed with the One UI 8 and Android 16. Okay, here's when we may get the next big Android 16 firmware upgrade. Samsung's One UI is a significant part of what makes Galaxy phones and tablets distinctive. With One UI 7 officially rolling out to users as of April 7, 2025, emphasis is already going to the next chapter, One UI 8. This future software upgrade, said to be based on Android 16, might bring amazing new things to Samsung devices. There's chatter that it may come out sooner than usual, which might modify how Samsung regularly delivers software upgrades. The beta testing program, which devices will certainly receive the One UI 8 based on Samsung's update strategy, and what this may imply for Galaxy customers. Historically, Samsung has coordinated its big One UI releases with the yearly Android upgrade cycle, often hitting in the fourth quarter around October or November, after Google's stable Android release. For instance, the One UI Sticks debuted on October 30, 2023, whereas One UI 7 delayed slightly, released on April 7, 2025. However, whispers from the IT community claim One UI 8 might break this tendency. Rumors point to a probable July 2025 release, coinciding with the debut of Samsung's second foldable series, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Z Flip 7. This conjecture stems from claims of Samsung expediting work to match with an earlier Android 16 rollout from Google, which may see a stable release as early as June or July 2025. If this occurs, it'd be the earliest large One UI release yet for Samsung, an unexpected move that could be because they want to correct problems following the One UI 7 delay. Samsung's One UI beta programs allow fans try out new features early, and the One UI 8 should maintain doing that. Looking at how things generally go and the projected July 2025 release, the One UI 8 beta should start around June 2025. The beta normally begins out with Samsung's top phones, such as the Galaxy S series, then adds foldables and some lesser models later. For the One UI 7, testing started on December 5, 2024 with the Galaxy S24, then expanded to include the S23, Z Fold 6, Z Flip 6, and others by March 2025. If Samsung keeps to this step-by-step strategy, the One UI 8 beta would presumably start with the Galaxy S25, then bring in foldables like the Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6 shortly after. You'll likely join up using the Samsung Members app in areas like the US, UK, India, Germany, and South Korea, so customers can check out new features before it's official. Samsung One UI 8 eligible devices. While Samsung hasn't publicly verified the One UI 8 device list, we can depend on its official software update policy to identify the devices certain to get the upgrade. Samsung currently provides up to 7 years of OS upgrades for certain flagship handsets, beginning with the Galaxy S24 series, and 4 years for others, including 5 years of security updates for various models. Based on this policy and the verified One UI 7 deployment, the following devices are guaranteed to be qualified for One UI 8. Galaxy S series, Galaxy S25 Edge, S25, S25 Plus, S25 Ultra, Galaxy S24, S24 Plus, S24 Ultra, S24 FE, Galaxy S23, S23 Plus, S23 Ultra, S23 FE, Galaxy S22, S22 Plus, S22 Ultra, Galaxy Z series, Galaxy Z Fold 7, Z Flip 7, anticipated to debut with One UI 8, Galaxy Z Fold 6, Z Flip 6, Galaxy Z Fold 5, Z Flip 5, Galaxy Z Fold 4, Z Flip 4, Galaxy Tab series, Galaxy Tab S10 Plus, Tab S10 Ultra, Galaxy Tab S9, S9 Plus, S9 Ultra. Mid-range devices like the Galaxy A55 and A35 may potentially qualify under the 4-year program. Older smartphones like the Galaxy S21 series might lose out, since 4-year support may finish before One UI 8 comes. The projected July 2025 introduction of One UI 8 hints to a dramatic turnaround for Samsung, perhaps providing a major upgrade considerably sooner than fans think. If this occurs on time, Galaxy owners may receive Android 16 features with the next round of foldable phones, showcasing how Samsung can mix things up and keep developing. While we wait for Samsung to announce anything official, the thought of a quicker One UI 8 release thrills Galaxy fans. Could this be Samsung's greatest software stride yet? Samsung's Secure Folder is an inbuilt solution for Galaxy phones and tablets that allows users conceal programs and data from prying eyes. While the functionality puts certain programs and data in a different profile and safeguards them with a screen lock, a weakness in Secure Folder enables anybody to see which apps and images you have. Samsung didn't publicly take cognizance of the problem, so it was anyone's guess whether the corporation was working on a repair. A recent leak claims Samsung might address the difficulties with Secure Folder with the One UI 8. Apps and images are viewable outside of Secure Folder mostly because of the way it operates. Samsung generates a work profile for Secure Folder, which is basically a different profile from the normal personal profile. While the data is containerized, particular components like the Android picture picker and permission controller may still view the contents inside this work profile and end up exposing it in certain instances. Google has its own version of the Secure Folder, which was launched with Android 15 called Private Space. This is a distinct private user profile, which the Android picture picker and permission controller handle differently. When this private profile is locked, it is thereafter concealed from the Android picture picker, the permission controller, and other system interfaces. How might Samsung repair Secure Folder? One possible method is to adopt the private space strategy. It appears Samsung is doing precisely that, since Dave of iPause on X claims that Secure Folder on the One UI 8 utilizes the private space API instead of the work profile. As per the explanation that shows when concealing the Secure Folder, applications inside the Secure Folder won't operate and won't send any alerts while the Secure Folder is hidden. This does add a degree of difficulty when accessing anything saved inside the Secure Folder, but it should also address instances of hidden applications giving you alerts and leaking your stored media. There's presently no information on when the One UI 8 will be published. Given that Android 16 stable release is close around the bend, we expect for further news shortly. However, One UI 7's delayed deployment has left a foul taste in our mouths, so we aren't holding our breath for a rapid One UI 8 release. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more tech news. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye and peace out.